Peace, kings and queens. So I'm back. I wanted to talk a little bit about a challenge that I just did. Well, not a challenge. It was more like a self-challenge. It was called 7 Days of Selfishness. And so the reason why I did this challenge is because I am what is known as like a self-sacrificial kind of person. And it does not serve me well. I'll do a video on self-sacrificing after this. So I did 7 Days of Selfishness, and it actually helped me to categorize and prioritize relationships in my life. It helped me to get my goals together. It helped me to see clearly what it is that I want or what I don't want. So with the 7 Days of Selfishness, let's say, for instance, you have a lot of bills and you have to go to work every day. Is something that is non-negotiable, but you don't want to go to this job. In your 7 Days of Selfishness, you see that this is an exception to the rule of doing what it is that you want to do. In that instance, you might need to begin to consider your occupation. What is it that you really want to do with your life? You know what I mean? So in my 7 Days of Selfishness, I had did a video before with the checkings accounts, savings accounts, and secured accounts in relations to relationships with people, right? And I happened to find in my 7 Days of Selfishness that there were some people who were upset at my actions. There were other people who were applauding them and was very proud of me for finally standing up and setting boundaries and drawing my line in the sand. And so people were categorized accordingly, you know what I mean? If I seen that me doing for myself somehow interfered with me being able to have a good relationship with you, well, then that means that I can't love you and love me at the same time. So somebody has to go, right? And it's not going to be me. So I learned that. The second thing that I learned was how many limits I put on myself. I'm not sure if I uploaded the video on here yet where I talk about Kiki Sinza and whether or not believing in God. Kiki Sinza is a young woman that does YouTube videos as well. Amazing brain, brilliant mind. But she talks about, does she believe in God? And she was the first person, like I said in the video, to really articulate what I felt about it. And I'm someone that's really good with words. So it was refreshing to have someone to bring that out. And in listening to her, no, I don't believe in God, right? Because what you're asking me, like she explained, is if I believe in limitlessness, or limits, rather. When that which is supposed to be that highest energy is limitless, it should not, I'm not able to name it. Let me say it should not. I'm not able to name it. I'm not able to define it, yet I resonate with it and I know that it's there, right? And in terms of the 7 Days of Selfishness, I realized how much I was defining and boxing myself in. You understand? I began to understand that I could do whatever I want, you know? During that 7 Days of Selfishness, I learned that a lot of the things that were pissing me off that I had to do was things that I had committed myself to. Jobs, situations with helping different people. I had committed myself to these things before the 7 Days of Selfishness, and now I'm seeing how my commitment to these things make me unhappy, right? So there were some real changes that needed to be made, and not so much for the people outside of me, but within myself, all right? And then the last thing that I learned on my 7 Days of Selfishness was to breathe, was to relax, was to enjoy, was to value myself. And I used to be the type of person to say, I need people around me that's going to tell me, you're doing too much, relax, calm down. And I don't need that anymore. I have that in myself. I'm able to cut myself off. I'm able to say when enough is enough. I am no longer putting myself in positions where I feel taken advantage of, or like things are not being reciprocated.